Hey everybody, I want to go over some topics today, pretty quick today, because I've filmed this and it didn't go through once, so we're hoping it goes live now. But the first thing I want to go over is NWA and them getting a TV deal. I am ecstatic for a TV deal. It's rumored, but I'm happy that they can get a TV deal because that shows that wrestling is at least growing in some ways, even with the smaller companies. So I want to say to NWA and Billy Corgan turns out great for him, very, very well for them, and I'm happy and ecstatic for it. Okay, going into the second topic of today, and that is Nick Aldis and my ideas of how he should be booked from going from GM to in-ring worker. I think what you can do is you build him up, and he eventually just gets, let's say it, Kevin Owens, and they eventually meet into a feud. And I think that's probably one of the best first feud. Extremely angry over time. Then you build it. So you build little entertaining segments between them both. Actually go into a feud together and people wanting it. And when people want to see that, it's gonna be a high fever pitch of how they could be over a year time. Build a match between him and Kevin Owens. And when you get that far, you get into a match, get into a feud, and you have Nick Aldis win, but you build it over time. Maybe you even have a trilogy where Kevin wins the first one. That's what I'm thinking. But today's going to be a shorter podcast, guys. This is the second ever episode of the Wrestling is Art podcast. But let's get into the main topic, which I'm going to hopefully spend some time on here talking about. And the main topic is Triple H and how I'm feeling about Raw and SmackDown at the moment. I'm going to go over my two MVPs of this last Friday night SmackDown, and then they're my two MVPs of this Raw that just happened. So, my two main MVPs of SmackDown was that the fact that we're getting a split between GMs. Nick Aldis, one main topic, or not main topic, but one main MVP was Cody. I'm ecstatic for. But my MVPs were them, and I thought it was a very interesting episode of SmackDown with the teases of Jade and Charlotte, and even the teases on NXT with Jade potentially her feuding with Becky. I think if you put the title on her beating Becky, would kind of put her on a pedestal, right? And I think that's a great pedestal to put her on early. And then she has like maybe a run in NXT, where eventually she shows up in the Rumble. So then you build her up to the Rumble. She just vacates it. I think she'll probably more than likely vacate it, and you don't want her losing until she's on the main roster. But then let's get into my MVP match. Great match. I enjoyed it very much. And Gunther continues for me being he just does not have a bad match. He keeps his consistency. One of the best pro wrestlers in the game today is Gunther. And hopefully they still continue to build Brunson Reed because he's very good as well. But I cannot explain to you how now I'm more than likely, if you're not giving the title to Chad Gable, I would just keep it on him. And he beats Seth at Mania for the belt, and he has both belts. And then at that point, he either vacates that or just keeps both and defends both, which would be sick to see Gunther defend both, wouldn't it? It'd be one of the craziest things of Raw was Gunther versus Brunson Reed. And then you're going to be surprised. It was Tozawa. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not Tozawa. But it is the fact that they're building, I think, a story where I know people were upset with Ludwig Kaiser beating Johnny Gargano, but I think they're building something here, which would mean Johnny can't do it without Tommaso Ciampa, and Tommaso Ciampa can't do it without Johnny, and it leads them stronger together, which would build them to a tag title win. But they're going to build them over time until they're over with the crowd fully. And that would be a great idea is to build them over time. And I cannot wait for it. I think it'd be sick to see that. Um, week was the main event match between Jay and Cody Rhodes losing the titles to Judgment Days, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. The reason I think I love this move is they're building this for a feud down the line at WrestleMania with Jimmy and Jay, and they're building Cody to War Games people. And hopefully brawl or something. War Games! That's what I want so bad. I so bad want that. He comes out and says, War Games! That's how much I want that. But I think that's what we're building to is a and then Cody, LA Knight more likely, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. I'm trying to think of others. I don't think you're gonna have. So you're really gonna look forward to a base team, and then this is my idea. After it's over, then you either have Cody's team win, you have Randy turn on Cody, and then we to Rumble, right? Something like that. Or you eventually have Roman versus Randy at Rumble, which would be cool too. But me going over how I feel it's best for business to keep having Triple H have this power because and his ideas are out of date. I mean, out of date. Like you hope that this doesn't change and we just keep the same Triple H themed shows. And I want to also shout out before I get off of this podcast how great Shawn Michaels in NXT has been doing with the women's division, because I am gonna cover on a podcast NXT Halloween Havoc Week 1 with 5 for it. In it is the breakout tournament matches, because I want Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice in the finals. That's what I want badly. But and I think this is all for Lola Vice to win the whole thing. And you know what I wouldn't hate? This way. Say this. Lola beats her in the finals. Kalani Jordan, after the loss, is going to get bigger from it because she's going to be one of the, I don't know if you're going to call them baddies, but like Jade's group. She'll be, like, in my opinion, I think you put her in Kalani Jordan, and we'll see about the others. But for me, Kalani Jordan, after a loss to Lola Vice, can build her from that via with Jade, and she'd be like a complementary piece to Jade. Eventually becomes champion NXT as well. But that is my ideas for that tournament and how ecstatic and I'm ecstatic for the 5 women's matches on Halloween Havoc Week 1, and I'm ecstatic for Halloween Havoc Week 1. I want to see how he does in the ring. He is very good with promos. That's always been his like high point is his promos. The in ring does. A overview of week 1 and then going over a little bit of week 2 on my third ever podcast. And then we might, if people want it, see me do a week 1 and 2, but it has to have a demand to it. I want to cover it no matter what. But if you guys want a reaction, a live reaction, I will do those. If you guys want that. But I want to say a shout keeping this creative team together of Shawn Michaels for NXT and Triple H on Raw and SmackDown. Because if Vince comes back, I'm telling you right now, mediocre, but it's going to turn weird, very weird. Actually, it's going to be mediocre. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. For tuning in. And I want to say this: like, comment, subscribe for more content from me. And I want to say this before I get out of here. Comment down below if you think I should do a oh yeah, comment down below if you think I should do a live reaction and review of Halloween Havoc Night 1. And if you guys could visit my community tab and select what movies and series I watch and see what scary movie I react to this season. And thank you all for listening. And I know this was a shorter podcast than the last one I did, but I want to thank you all and see you again. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. And peace.